autism research. And here's a book about it called Manhood, Causes of Its Premature Decline. So just like, you know, it can put hair on your palms, it can also cause premature decline. So that's what we've got right there. These are delivery sets. This is my quackery section. All sorts of bizarre quackery stuff. We have electric corset steels, a flesh brush, galvanic electric belts. This was applying electricity to different parts of your body to do different things. So we could cure asthma here, we could grow hair here. I've tried it, it has not worked very well, but that's what they said it could do. And there are electric barbells, all sorts of things to reinvigorate you with life. Now, some of the rarest stuff I have is in this cabinet. These are 17th century surgical instruments and 18th century very rare bone surgery instruments called osteotomes. And I have a whole variety of these. I could talk for an hour just about this one case, but I don't think I will because I'd probably bore you to death, but somebody might enjoy hearing about it. The next thing we're going to talk about is the far corner here, so why don't you walk this way. This is our diagnostic cabinet, so there's all kinds of interesting things. What we have is a bunch of phrenology related stuff. Phrenology was the study of the shape of the head and what it told you about your personality. So here you see these phrenology busts which show what part of your head is responsible for compassion, intellect, all the different parts. The kind of cool thing here, this is a French dude from about 1820 that was convicted of murder, and what they did is after they killed him they did a death mask so they could look at the shape of his skull and see what region was responsible for him being a sociopath, which is kind of interesting. Of course that was a bunch of hogwash, the whole science, just like a lot of the science that's responsible for what's in this museum, but still it over time led to the development of real theories for what caused disease and illness, including mental illness. I have all sorts of great things for vaccination down here, including a letter by Edward Jenner, the founder or the person that discovered the vaccination for smallpox. And I have a handwritten letter by him. I have other handwritten letters in the collection, one by Benjamin Rush, who was a signer of the Declaration of Independence, and he is prescribing bloodletting in the letter. I just have all sorts of crazy artifacts in here. So let me have you come over here. I have a book collection, Civil War books, books on bloodletting, books on surgery, all sorts of neat things. And that's what I use for my reference. So when someone offers me something, I can go ahead and learn more about it. This is a faux fireplace I built with some stained glass scenes. The stained glass scenes are late 19th century, and they show someone having their pulse taken, a dentist pulling a tooth, and another woman who I think was just bled in this one. The really cool thing here is the fireback. This is a cast iron fireback. It's from 1631. That was from a guild of barber surgeons. All these barbers, surgeons, they did it all. They got together in a guild house, and that was actually in their fireplace. It's an incredibly rare thing from England. Let me show you a cool quackery device over here, if you can come over on this side. This is an automaton which was made to show what a doctor, quack, essentially is doing for an old lady. And take a look. So she is being treated by this quack and shocked by this device to try to cure her, this old lady. And what I have next to it over here is an actual quack device from the period where you would hold these things, they would crank the thing, and what do you think would happen? Okay, that's enough of that. Always fun to demonstrate. Alright, well, that's the grand tour. I'll tell you, there's an awful lot more in the Arbiteer Museum of Medical History. There's a lot more that I have learned from the history of medicine and science, and this place is filled with oddities, but I would still love to see what else there is all across the world. So I will tell you one thing, passion is sort of a hallmark of a great collector. I certainly have a lot of passion. I have another buddy named Tom Yarbrough who sent in a video for you, and he is another doctor. He's Dr. Tom, and he's on the West Coast. He's a vet, and he's as passionate about bloodletting things as I am. So I think we make a great team for you, but happy to answer any questions you folks have for me. Thank you very much. Have a good day. One last cabinet I wanted to share with you is probably the great treasures of the whole museum, and I'll show you what some of these things are. This is that letter by Benjamin Rush up top, which is prescribing bloodletting for a friend of his. Below that is a super, super rare tintype. It's an original photograph of someone being bled. It may be a little hard to see, but it's tinted with the blood going down the guy's arm into a bowl. It's one of only two known to exist showing bloodletting from the 19th century. There are gold-plated instruments in here and all sorts of silver plate, early tiles showing bloodletting scene. But there's also a really cool thing down here. This is a corpse preserver. It's a patent model that was used to show how to preserve troops during the Civil War after they had died. So you would put ice around and put them in this metal box. This cabinet also has rare bullet extractors. It just sort of, again, tries to tell the story of the history of medicine. I could go on and on talking about the history of medicine. I think this room is a great starting point in discussing how disease was treated, how surgery was done, what the theories of treatment were in the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries. And there's really just no end to the phenomenal stories of brave physicians that were doing their best to cure people. But this was prior to anesthesia, prior to antibiotics. They lost an awful lot of people back then. There was really very little they can do other than really support patients and their families as best as they could. But still, phenomenal stories to tell, and I'm happy to tell them. Thank you. I did that for your benefit.
And thanks.
Yeah, maybe just some sense. Can you unhook from the bag for a minute or won't let you? Kind of freaky a little bit, isn't it?
Stay like that.
I turn the lights on.
Could you maybe turn on the lights while it's like this?